So look, Biden, but by the way, this is an article from The Lever, which is run by friends of the show, David Sirota. They do great work over there. Biden taps anti-Social Security ideologue to oversee program. Which program? Social Security program. You think I'm kidding? Last month, President Joe Biden nominated a longtime advocate of Social Security privatization and benefit cuts to a key board overseeing the Social Security system. I wish I had that video in this where Joe Biden goes, "You got to cut Social Security. That's the only way. That's the only way." The move comes as Republicans get ready to push cuts to Social Security and Medicare if they end up winning control of Congress during the November midterms, as expected. So Joe Biden is working in tandem with the Republicans to help demolish Social Security. I thought that's what Trump was going to do. That's why you had to vote for Joe Biden. The development suggests that there could soon be a coordinated push in Washington to cut Social Security, which provides retirement disability. On May 13th, Biden chose to nominate Andrew Biggs, a fellow at the right-wing American Enterprise Institute think tank, for a Republican seat on the bipartisan Social Security Advisory Board, which was created in 1994 to consult the president and Congress about the Social Security system. For years, Biggs has been a vocal critic of expanded Social Security and work. This is what Bernie Sanders told you to vote for. This is the guy Bernie Sanders said is going to be the most progressive guy since FDR. The guy is now cutting Social Security and Medicare, and Bernie Sanders isn't saying dick. You know why? Because Bernie Sanders is a cowardly dick. I'm this close to going to his house. I am this close to going to Bernie Sanders' house with a camera and sitting outside and waiting for him to show up. The fucking cuck coward that Bernie Sanders is. I am this close. And then you watch him run from me.
Which house?
Which house? I don't know. I'd have to pick one of his three houses.
Will he pretend to be on the phone while you're...
He'd probably pretend. For years, Biggs has been a vocal critic. He has dismissed the retirement crisis as a non-issue, and as recently as 2020 blamed problems with the Social Security system on older Americans' game of chicken.
What's that mean?
I don't even know.
Either die or don't, older Americans.
2 decades ago, Biggs worked on a Bush administration commission that pushed to privatize Social Security. In response to questions from The Lever, Biggs suggested he no longer favors privatizing Social Security. Instead, he said he now believes that nations' Social Security-like programs should be more focused on guaranteeing against poverty in old age, while middle and high-income individuals take on greater responsibility for saving for retirement on their own. So what this does, that idea of, well, you don't want to give money to rich people, what that does is then it makes Social Security now a giveaway program, a welfare program, instead of what it is, a paid-for retirement benefit. Do you see what that does? So when it goes to everybody, that's a paid-for benefit. But when you start taking it away from rich people or middle-income people, and we're only going to give it to poor, now you've made it something that's not what it is. And that's easier to do.
Really, what middle-income people?
Right? There's no middle income in America. There's poor people, and then there's rich people. Establishing such savings accounts would be a solution in search of a problem. Social Security is incredible. So they want to, that's what George Bush wanted to do, give you a, we're going to make good, so you can put that money in the market. So we're going to give you a private Social Security savings, then you take that money and you put it in the market. And then and they would have lost everything in 2008. And
yeah, you're right. Wow. I didn't even think. I remember him saying that. Oh, we're gonna put it in the market.
That's
and I
right.
didn't think of that.
And they would have lost everything.
Over until, yeah.
Social Security is incredibly successful at delivering retirement benefits, and raising taxes on the wealthy would be a straightforward way to expand the program. Alternatively, creating retirement accounts invested in the stock market would involve a much more unwieldy and risky expansion of government programs, and would be a huge boon, like we just said. In 2001, Biggs was the staff analyst on George W. Bush's Commission on Social Security that advocated privatizing the government program by shifting the program's trust fund investment from U.S. Treasury bills to high-fee, high-risk personal accounts that seniors could use to invest Social Security assets in the stock and bond markets, like employees do with their 401k plans. Like I said, they would have lost it all in 2008 when the market crashed. After that, Biggs spent 4 years working as an asshole commissioner as an associate commissioner of the Social Security Administration, which administers the Social Security program, while Bush unsuccessfully pushed through unprecedented privatization efforts. He hand-waved away retirement and securities for millions of Americans, saying that only 23% of seniors will have retirement incomes equal to or less than 75% of their average pre-retirement earnings. He was concerned by Social Security taxes being raised on upper middle class Americans making as little as $140,000, even though such a tax hike would massively increase long-term Social Security funding. He also endorsed cuts to Social Security, saying most middle and upper income retirees could survive just fine with slightly lower initial Social Security benefits and lower cost of living adjustments after retirement. He also argued that Social Security privatization would make Americans not only richer, but also happier. Happier, healthier, and more familial, smarter. It would be the best thing ever in the world if you fucked over people's Social Security, Kurt.
And more active citizens? What, they're going to have to get jobs, you mean?
Yeah. Yes. In 2013, Biggs justified the idea of raising the retirement age for Social Security benefits by saying that Americans' biggest on-the-job risk is, carpal tunnel syndrome from your mouse or something like that. Wow. Biggs' background and past statements made him a questionable choice to fill the Social Security Advisory Board vacancy if Biden had to fill that vacancy at all. As Jeff Hauser at the Revolving Door Project pointed out, Trump would routinely refuse to nominate Democrats for the seats they were owed on the other bipartisan boards and commissions, including the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Progressives called on Democrat lawmakers to speak up and demand that Trump make the appointments, but the calls were ignored. Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump quietly pocket vetoed potential appointees recommended by Chuck Schumer during the Trump presidency, and sadly, the Democratic leadership ignored our call for action and never raised a fuss about it. Why do you think that is, Mr. Hauser? Why do you think the Democrats don't ever raise a fuss when the Republicans are doing horrible shit? It's because it's good cop, bad cop, and they all want to do horrible shit because they all serve the same people. And I'm sure that guy knows that. However, that passivity doesn't change the fact that a precedent was set, he added, suggesting Biden should use that precedent to avoid nominating extremists like Biggs. And here's Joe Biden telling you he told you he was going to do this. And you said you had to vote for him because of Trump. And they're going to do this again. You come up with a guy they pretend is a bigger monster than Joe Biden. No one's a bigger monster than Joe Biden.
Paul Ryan was correct. When he did the tax code, what's the first thing he decided we had to go after? Social Security and Medicare. Now, we need to do something about Social Security and Medicare. It's the only way you can find room to pay for it.
You can't find any room anywhere.
He's happy. Look at he's got a gleam in his eye that he's telling people, I'm going to cut Social Security, and I'm not supposed to do it because I'm a Democrat. But that's what makes it extra crazy, and I like doing it. Just like I'm a Democrat who exploded the prison population. Just like I'm a Democrat who made it harder to make it impossible for people to get rid of their medical debt or their student loan debt. I'm the one who screws over workers. I'm a Democrat.
And to think they turned him away when he asked to be a whore at the tender age of 40.
So keep voting. But the guy who wrote this, so I don't know if David wrote it. So the guy who wrote this article, or the guy who runs this news outlet, The Lever, who wrote this article telling you how shitty Joe Biden is going to tell you to vote for Joe Biden again in 2024. And that's the irony of the lever. So they know all this shit. They know all the horrible stuff the Democratic Party's doing, and then they're still going to tell you to vote for them, and they're still going to lie and obfuscate like David Sirota did around force to vote and tell you that McCarthy could come speaker. So that's what makes these guys extra nefarious, is that they know all this, and then they still gaslight you. Just like a politician.
He still wants to get,
and I did some looking into David Sirota's fucking history. It is riddled with bullshit. Yeah, if I ever decided to do a video about it, it wouldn't be pretty. He's got a lot of nefarious shit, like running a racist website like that.
But now
like
he uses his powers for good, like David Brock.
Yeah, and then went out to work for David Brock. And there's a lot of shit.
Oh, he did?
And now I'm pretty sure.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, you know what? Let me hold off. Let me put together the video on that.
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt it though.
It's the same type of dude. Like, let me use my weird, dirty things I'm willing to do. That's just called playing the game. That's the whole fucking.
Anyway, but they do great work over there. They do. So this is a good article, but look how white this guy's teeth are too. That's that's a Pepsodent commercial. Hey, we're doing stand-up dates: Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Chicago, Sacramento, and then San Diego, where I'm taping my new special. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our live shows. We're coming to your town, maybe.